Hey, what's up? This is Dave from Revocation and Gargoyle. I'm here with Jackson showing off my new USA Signature Warrior. So on this WR7, we kept that wood grain feel. The last one had that charcoal stain, but this one we wanted to kind of accentuate the grain even more. So we ended up roasting the ash, which really brings out all the nooks and crannies in the wood, and they also didn't flat sand it. They kind of gave it like a little bit of a texture so you can actually feel the wood grain. So yeah, I think that the beautiful grain of this ash just really pops on this Warrior. Another big difference from the last custom run was we did a maple fretboard, a caramelized maple fretboard instead of the ebony fretboard. I think it just kind of matched really well with the caramelized ash body, and it's also just cool to have different variations. Like I've been playing ebony boards a lot, but I wanted to kind of switch it up, so I'm happy to have the maple fretboard in this. It's a little bit snappier. Having a good stable neck is obviously super important. I tour all over the world, different climates, so having a guitar that's going to stay in tune and not go all out of whack is really important. So what they did with this neck, which was different on the last one, is it's actually a three-piece neck. So they cut it up, and then I think they flipped the grain around and then glued it together, and that somehow that binding makes the neck like way sturdier than if it was just like a regular cut piece of quarter sawn maple, which is already very sturdy. So this is even more stable, which is pretty awesome. And just little things like how smooth the seam is here, it's really like a work of fine craftsmanship. So features, it's got the DiMarzio signature Imperium pickups in there again. Love the way these pickups sound. I continue to use them, so I definitely wanted to have them in this WR7. Same knob configuration as last time. I'm very stoked on just the playability of the whole guitar, and knob placement is a big factor. It's got the push-pull again, so if you want to split the coils, you can get almost like a single coil stratty sound out of this guitar, which is fun. Just get variation of tones. Some other new features that we added. It's got the lumen lay side dots here, which are just badass because when you're on stage, they kind of light up. They're like fluorescent, so dark stages, you can see the fretboard better. That was one thing that I just kind of learned over the years of playing. It's good to have some markers, especially on some dark stages. It also has new tuners. We did some hip shot open gear tuners on here. I love the way the hip shots look, and I think the open gear just, I don't know, it just has a cool vibe. And the actual tuning pegs themselves, they're a little bit more angular, less sort of oval shaped, and I think they just fit with the sharp edges of the Warrior a little bit better. So it's just like one small feature, but it just adds to the overall meanness of the guitar. So I was working closely with the Jackson folks with renderings and this and that, but you never really know how it's going to come out until you finally receive it. So yeah, I got the basically I think the first one in the mail not too long before NAMM, and it just was like love at first sight, basically. I plugged it in, I played it, I was like, yeah, this is good to go. I mean, the nice thing about already working with the custom shop is so many of the specs that I really labored over on the original custom run, they're all present. So we didn't change too much stuff there. It was really just sort of the look of the guitar, and I think they absolutely nailed it. As I mentioned before, the wood grain is beautiful. It really pops. The fact that it's not just flat sanded, it has a little bit of texture. It's like this thing was just carved from a gnarly tree trunk somewhere and just brought to you. I don't know, it reminds me of like a battle axe, like a dwarf in Lord of the Rings would use or something like that. So it's super metal with the shape, but that natural wood grain just gives it a classiness, I guess, that sometimes you don't normally associate with extreme guitars. So I don't know, it's really a pleasure to have this instrument. I'm still kind of in awe of it. The combination of the woods, the pickups, just the craftsmanship in general, I've been having a blast playing this guitar at home. I can't wait to take it on the road. I can't wait to use it in the studio. I've actually already written some riffs on it. It's just kind of an inspiring instrument. I'm a big proponent of the instrument that you play has to resonate with you on a multitude of levels, right? Can you play it live? Does it hold up to the rigors of the road? Is it something that you see yourself tracking on? And is it also something that's inspiring to you? Like when you pick it up, does just the vibe and overall nature of the instrument help your creativity? And for me, as I said, I've already written some riffs on this guitar, so the mojo is flowing with this one. It's a goddamn work of art, this guitar.